Hello, I'm Lauren Green for FoxNews.com. You know, Benjamin Franklin is famous for his inventions, writing, and political theories. But it's a wonder one man could do all that. Maybe it's because he woke up at 5 a.m. every morning and went to bed at 10 each night. Well, writer and blogger Tim Goessling tested out a day in the life of the founding father, according to his 1791 autobiography. And he joins me now with more. Welcome, Tim.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, you know, what possessed you to try to live out Ben Franklin's autobiography, his daily schedule?
Great question. I'm always looking for ways to improve myself and to challenge myself to be better. And I was writing for a publication, and I had the idea for the article after seeing his daily schedule online and said, would this work in today's world? You know, so often we're bombarded with so many apps that are trying to tell us what to do, how to do it, remind us how many things we need to get done. And I just wondered, could this super old school way of doing this work in the modern times?
And did it? And did it?
It certainly did. Not only did I feel like I was more on top of daily tasks that I needed to do, but it also added a lot of meaning to my life that day.
Very interesting. I want to give a sample of his daily schedule. He woke up at 5 a.m. and it says, rise, wash, address, powerful goodness, contrive day's business, and take the resolution of the day, prosecute the present study, and breakfast. The wording, of course, is it seems antiquated to us today. Prosecute the present study. But how did you translate that into 2014?
You know, some parts were pretty easy, although I should say waking up at 5 a.m. wasn't that easy. You know, but I did think that the part about contemplating daily goodness was really interesting for me. It really put me in a place to evaluate what work I was going to be doing that day, both professionally and personally, and how it was going to add purpose to my life. So not often do I think people reflect on, what am I really going to do today? How's it going to benefit me? How's it going to benefit the world? And I found that when I reflected on that and set goals, it really made a difference.
You know, one of the things that's very interesting, you said the morning question, what good shall I do this day? He really was focused on how do I improve the world, not just myself, but how do I improve the world? That's different from how we think of today. I mean, I was just watching a commercial that says, it's all about you, it's all about you. And he really focused on, no, it's not about me, it's about the world, about me helping the world improve by me being a better person.
Exactly. And I think you'll see that, at least I've learned, Ben Franklin was a real trailblazer when it comes to positive psychology. I mean, when you look at people like Martin Seligman, who encourage you to set goals and really evaluate your happiness and plot a course for yourself, he was doing this so long ago. And I think his lessons still really ring true today. I know I certainly experienced it the day that I did it, and I'm still experiencing it now.
You know what's really interesting about this schedule? Between 8 and 12, it just says work. That doesn't say anything, it just says work. And then from 12 to 1, read and overlook my accounts. Or 12 to 2, read and overlook my accounts. And then from 2 to 5, it just says work. And there was this sort of balance, understanding what work was. Work was work. But then when you weren't working, there were these moments of reflection that you really had to think about your life. I mean, how were you able to translate that again into today's world?
You know, I had a lot of fun with it. During the 12 to 2 p.m. time, he says overlook his accounts. I should say I don't really own any businesses like Mr. Franklin did, who was a real multifaceted guy. But I used that to kind of evaluate all my social media accounts, kind of put a 21st century spin on it. So I was checking on my website, www.timgoessling.com, looking at my Twitter, my Facebook, Instagram, all these things that in some ways we really need to manage on a day-to-day level. And I took the time to really look at them, make sure they are operating in the way that I wanted them to. My social media footprint was looking good. And I looked at my bank account a little bit as well, and you know, he also allocated a lot of time for lunch, so I was definitely a big fan of having a nice 2-hour lunch in the middle of the day.
You know, that's very interesting because we do not separate our personal lives from our work. People who are career-driven tend to mix the two so that we can't separate our personal life from work, and Ben Franklin was able to do this. In the evening, from 6 to 10, put things in their places, supper, music or diversion or conversation, examination of the day. There really was this built-in schedule for relationships, for things like music. And, of course, he didn't have iPods or CD players, so he was probably playing the music himself, right?
Yeah, totally. I believe maybe he even had some musicians in his house playing the music, which I think would be, everyone would be a big fan of that. And he also really had time to reflect on the end of the day of what he did and how it made him feel, and if he accomplished everything that he wanted to do when he set a goal that morning. So that reflection period, I think, when I did it, was really powerful for me to see, this is what I've accomplished today, this is what I didn't accomplish and I can accomplish tomorrow. And he also made a point to put things in their places, which a little bit of late-night house cleaning, I think, goes a long way in really tidying things up for you to feel great.
Yeah, at the end of the day, he begins it as he ends it, which is, evening question, what good have I done today? It's a reflection. It's always a reflection on, has my life lived up to the standard that I myself have set for myself? Very interesting kinds of elements. Were you able to do that as well?
I definitely did that. You know, I wrote everything down when I did this. I kept a running journal of the day. And even now, you know, the article is about how it changed my life. And even now, I write down a goal in the morning and I reflect on if I did it at night. And I usually take some time in the early morning to kind of go out, walk around a little bit, reflect on what I need to do. And then right before I go to bed, before I dive into a book or read on my iPad, I usually reflect on if I accomplished that goal. Sometimes I don't take an evening walk, but I sit down, think about what I did, think about the impact it had on me and on the world, and I think it really provides a sense of meaning.
Interesting, interesting. That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Tim. So you can check out more of Tim's schedule, hacks at timgoessling.com. And thanks for watching, and Tim, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I should say, though, that you know, Ben Franklin was a big fan of doing this daily schedule, but also he had a 13-week plan. So I said the article changed my life, and I'm really looking forward to developing a book around this, his 13-week virtue plan. So if you like the article, you can expect that in the future.
Great. It's a great way to be. 13 weeks. That's a plan. Thanks so much.